Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to round three commentary of the K through 12 grade championships on WGM Sabina Foisor. Very excited to bring you, hopefully, another educational round where we are going to be looking at the top boards for all sections, all the way from K2 through K12. We have over we have 30 games to look at, 4 games in each section from 12th grade all the way till 9th grade, and then their top 2 boards in the sections from the 2nd grade all the way till the 8th grade. There's a link that I am pinning in the chat where you can go on chess.com and pull out the games. Check out if any of your favorite players or maybe your kids, your friends, are playing live. Let me know about it, and I'll be glad to take a look and we can discuss the game together. It's always a pleasure having the interaction with the chat, because that way I feel it becomes even more interactive. In case one of the players finishes and wants to stop by the stream and join me into sharing details about what they calculated, what went wrong, what went right, that would be wonderful. I happen to also choose my favorite moments in this in every single game. I'm sharing them with JJ, who's doing an amazing job at getting the articles together and published. And then, of course, there's the tactics worksheets that are coming and on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So it's always nice to have your games published, your positions published, even if you didn't do so well. It's kind of nice to know that you helped create something. At least I hope it is. So yeah, so there's that. Thanks to US Chess for having me here, and all the staff for making this hopefully a good event for everyone. And without further ado, I think everyone wants to get into the game, so let's do it. Let's see. Today we're expecting 3 rounds. So the first one is now, then we have one at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, and the next one is going to be at 6. So you are going to see me for most of the day. I might take a bit longer breaks than usual, but we'll see how things go. If they're exciting games, I will be here. So yeah, Chessfields, hey, you already have it. You had it published and I didn't read it before the stream. Oh no, I feel bad. I didn't read it. Be sure to check out the link. I think you can put it yourself, but I do have a command for you, Chessfields, which is this. So you know, people checking, they can look, they can go on uschess.org/news and stay notified with all of the articles that JJ publishes. It's pretty much almost everything on Chess Life Online. And then, of course, there's the Chess Life magazine that if you're a member and have paid your dues, you're going to be able to read it either online or in a print format, and that is John Harmon who does that always. Both of them great people, and I enjoy reading their stuff, so be sure to check them out. All right, well, I will be reading it in my break. JJ, I hope I gave you some interesting positions from yesterday, and let's see what today brings. So we'll start with board 1. In the 12th grade, we have William Safranek playing against Javier Silva, and we have the closed or advanced Caro-Kann, basically. And well, the players are still thinking here, so we I'm curious, actually. This is a line that I enjoy to play with the black pieces. I've played so many games in this line lately. I feel there's more and more theory being added. Typically, what you have to be careful for with black here is this e6 move. White is planning to play that if you don't do something about it. So a lot of people like to play e6. Others like sorry, like to give this check, queen a5, first and then play e6. I personally like this move, but it's a matter of preference. The idea being that if they go, for example, okay, nobody really goes 9, but they usually go c3, and then we can play this move queen a6. The idea is we're offering a queen trade. We don't have much space, so if we trade the queens, we don't risk of being attacked, and we get another piece off the board, something else to be worried about, and or something less. Did I say worse? Something less to be worried about. Trades, and black is perfectly fine here. I think they usually go knight f3 or h4 first. Maybe h4 is actually more popular, so maybe we could just play e6 in that position and then kind of transpose. I see h4 the most, I think, played, and after h5 I see bishop d3, and it kind of makes the most sense. Sorry, queen takes d3 and here queen a5, right? I'm kind of enjoying, I would say I'm kind of enjoying this position for black personally, but that's because I play the Karakan, so I better enjoy the positions that I play, otherwise it wouldn't be so ideal. Yeah, I saw that game. For me, I think it depends maybe on the level, or I don't know. For me, this line hasn't happened that often, but indeed, this is, I guess, more. I only played it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I played against this. Now I don't know why. Maybe I just happen to have played against players who enjoy the other line with h4. But yeah, the ideas in this position for black are typically get your 2 knights out like this, and you're trying to get a bit of space on the king side with h6. G5, this bishop will retreat, bishop goes to g7. At some point you're breaking with c5 and f6. There are 2 kind of breaks that black does. As for the king, you're keeping it in the center for a while and then maybe long castle. But I am kind of, I'm a fan of this. Yeah, you're right, bishop d3 could transpose, but it probably won't be transposed. Now there's no point to play h4, you're right. So actually maybe I don't even need queen e5. Maybe e6 is going to be played here potentially. Black is still thinking somewhere along the lines. The time control for this tournament, for those of you who haven't joined the previous day, is 90 minutes plus, or not without plus, and 10 seconds delay per move. There's no additional time, so that kind of keeps the time frame of the game going for maybe about 3 hours and a half. That gives them sufficient time to actually play 3 games in a day. With increment, I fear some games could last much longer, so it actually makes a lot of sense that this is the time control for the event, I think. Unless we would want to maybe only have 6 rounds, but I think 7 rounds is kind of good for these tournaments because there's always a large number of players joining in, and you kind of want to have some decisiveness on the top, and I think 7 rounds is kind of the amount. But okay, this is just my opinion. You know, there could be reasons why we would want less rounds as well, so I'm not talking here for you, it's just I'm talking from my perspective, from the point of the tournament, but I do understand if there are other concerns of trying to have less rounds. Or maybe, yeah, maybe he just wanted to surprise his opponent, William. He's playing a low-rated player, technically, right? And maybe he just wanted to play something that's not too theoretical and just kind of get a game to play and then see how things are going. Yeah, maybe. But I think there were there are quite a few chessable courses, I was told, because once I played this line against someone with the black pieces, the h4 and then bishop d3, and they knew a lot of moves of theory. They kind of blitzed through, and I changed something because I didn't know that course, of course. And don't be like me, study your openings a bit better. And I remember my opponent had told me, and I played something that wasn't, you know, it was more of a subpar line, and he didn't know how to play against. And this is something I fear with a lot of kids these days. So if you're a parent listening, maybe make sure that your kids, your students are understanding the reason why those moves are made, not just memorize, you know, like automatically, after this I play this, after this I play this. Okay, what if this other move that you haven't thought through? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the understanding to know how to respond? If the answer is yes, well, great for you, awesome. Keep it up. If the answer is no, then maybe you should step back from just the memorization process and really take sufficient time to understand things, because chess is much more than just a game where you memorize stuff. It's a game of creativity and strategizing, and not having the ability to do that certainly takes away from your full potential, I think. So anyways, okay, pretty decent position here. Going on to the next game, looks like we are having another Dutch, and Aritra, I believe, played a Dutch yesterday as well. So we have the normal Leningrad. B3 is not a move I'm very familiar with. It does come part of what the system that white plays, but c4 is more popular in a way, and the idea is, well, since if you're giving the opportunity to have the center, you do want to take control over it. Black usually castles. White continues with knight c3, and it is important to make these moves in order to meet the idea of queen e8 to support e5 with this move d5. And you know, any pawn push here is going to be met with a capture, and now knight d4 or knight g5, either one of those two moves should be good for white. And let's not forget, this pawn is hanging. That's the reason why black in this position has to play c6 first, and then push the e pawn. c6 locks in this bishop, and then we can play it. But with b3, we are also doing something against black's push to e5. And of course, you need to understand that black is playing some kind of a Kia with reverse colors, I would say. Of course, it's called the Dutch. But basically, what we're trying to do is just make sure e5 is not in the books. So at this point, black could still play c6, followed by knight in d7, queen e8. That move is imperative in order to get some play on the king side, but okay, we're still quite early in the game. We'll have to see how things proceed. Okay. C64. Okay, so we transpose to the position that I suggested, just that white has b3, bishop b2, which controls the center. d5 is usually played in order to take en passant, but he chose, ooh, okay, do we have some gambit here? The Scotch Gehrig gambit, isn't it? Bishop c4. I haven't seen this in a while. What is the move in this position? Is it knight f6? I think it's knight f6. And after queen b3, queen, one of those squares, maybe d7, so that we can. And then thankfully we have knight d5, or else the pawn will be sad. And then we have to chase this knight away, bishop e7, and so on and so forth. But black played bishop e7, allowing queen b3 with tempo. White is slowly getting a better position. Knight a5, bishop takes f7, king f8. Oh, black, we're waiting. We do have 2 moves delay, so we wouldn't get the move that black played until they made already 2 moves. So after this, I think it's queen somewhere, right? We need to attack the knight. Do we put it here and allow some d5, or do we put it in a4? Maybe a4. And if they play c6 to protect the knight, and now they want to take ours, I think we don't have time to retreat it, so we have to take, and then we have this position where we have recouped our sacrifice pawn, and we have a slight advance in development, I would say. Better king. Black will require a few additional moves to castle by foot, and I think white's position is pretty good here. Yeah. So maybe this was not supposed to happen. Bishop e7 might have been a bit premature. We have, oh, I haven't seen Jed in a while. I think I met him maybe in 2017, 18 when he was still, I don't know, he was playing under 12 or something. It was Pan American. It was the first Pan American championship where I was going as a coach, if I'm not mistaken. And then I haven't seen him since. Well, maybe at some tournament. I have commented on his games before, so it's nice to see him still competing in these competitions. All right, so we have just like an interesting Italian. I never understand. Personal, it's just a personal opinion, of course. I'm not the biggest fan of placing the knight in c3 in Ruy Lopez or Italian. I feel that that's the square for the pawn to support d4, and I enjoy those plans for white just a bit better than placing the knight here. Though, of course, that's the ideal location for the knight, but it just feels a bit too symmetrical for my taste. But that's just my taste, of course. Bishop e6, knight e5, and with white, because of the setup, of course, you'll have to be mindful about potentially castling and capturing in h3, so he has to be mindful about that. But other than that, the position seems quite nice. So we arrived on the first board of 11th grade, and here we've got a Nimzo, a 92. This is a nice system where black needs to attack the center fast, or else white will attempt to transpose into a Zemish, but a great Zemish where all of these pawns will march forward. So we do have to find a way to attack the center. Looks like black captured in d5, a very typical response against the system. King castle, okay, and now we have an IQP position. For those of you who don't know, IQP stands for isolated queen's pawn. And this is both a strength and a weakness. Weakness because by itself, it's a lonely pawn, lonely island. But strength because it does give white more space. It's the only pawn in the center, controls two key squares. More importantly, this specific one in e5 is very nice, supporting an outpost. And a lot of the times, because we do have more space, we want to try to find a way to build up an attack. Now, I need to think about this setup. Normally, it is a much better setup to have the knight in f3 ready to jump to e5, but since we do not have it, we have to think of different ways to build up the attack. Probably bishop g5, and looks like it was played. Pinning the knight, and then we do still have this kind of setup where you can bring the queen to d3, bishop to c2, or maybe play a3, bishop a to b1, of course, after we will have taken the rook out, creating a battery to build up an attack on the king. Bishop b3. Bishop b3 was important because, yeah, he's planning to do that, and I guess he did not want to play a3, as it would have brought black's bishop back to where it belongs. So at least, you know, we know we're not wasting time with chasing the bishop away. And yeah, It's a game. It's a game. It's more comfortable for black because we do not have the ability um, to get a knight in e5 and create some potential, sacrificial ideas in f7 or takes. But yeah, those kind of things could be good. All right. 1 second. I wanted to repost and I'll check it later. Be sure to check out JJ's article on the first day of rounds from the this great championships. If you're still on stream, JJ, you can put the link directly. I don't have it right now, but I'll put it shortly. And here we have Logan's game. Logan has been playing this English Reti / Catalan positions, and looks like he's bringing that back in this round. And it was really kind of Logan to stop by the stream yesterday. He had a very interesting game. I'm hoping JJ has put it in the article, where he basically played this knight before the move of the round, I'd say, where he basically drops his queen, and that was not the only moment in the game where he drops his queen, but you couldn't, his opponent couldn't capture it because of a mate. And it was a really nice idea. Show board 4. I just showed board 4. What? It's okay. Thanks, Chessfields. I should maybe pin that. Oh, it's in there. Okay, great. I'll read. I promise. In the first break, I read the article, and I'll add it maybe to be pinned to the. Actually, I can pin this. I can pin that. We cannot have 2 pinned messages, but we can have 1. Let's see if it works. Can we have 2 pinned messages? No, just 1. Okay, that's fine. This is board 4. Extorox, whom are you rooting for in this game? Since you want us to talk about it again, please do let me know. Are you rooting for Jed or Levon? If you don't mind me asking. I was not. I mean, it's one of those positions where you don't know what how much advantage you should give to one of the sides. Basically, black has completed development, but white's got the knight and d5 supported first, so that gives white an edge to black's development. But I think it's not that big. The thing is that you will have to find a way to chase this knight away. And for example, like this would be something I would consider to do, maybe a6 to support b5, chase this bishop away, maybe move the knight, maybe myself to d4, c6. And of course, I'm happy if you choose to trade either one of my pieces because I'm lacking space. You're rooting for Levon. Okay, it's the name. It's the name on everyone's thinking. I guess Levon. It's of course the most famous Levon player is Levon Aronian, but he's recently won the freestyle in South Africa. Kudos to Levon, very nice guy. And here we have another Levon. So I wonder how many strong Levons do we have? Chess players who are strong chess players. I don't know. Someone can check it out and let me know. Yeah, the position is just really coming out of the opening, so it's hard to really predict what's going to happen. But I would say pushing the pawns here a little bit, don't touch this knight in d5. Black will have potential sacrificial ideas later on, so he has to keep that in his mind. And yeah, there are various ideas of improving. There's also, you know, rook e8, bishop f8, g6, bishop g7 in some cases. Obviously, you can't do it just yet, but those are ideas to keep in mind. But my most pleasant one would be with c6. I don't even know if this is an option. It could be to chase the bishop away, and then yeah, but you can't go c6. See, this is the problem. You have to be very careful not to make this blunder, because you're trapping your knight, and at this point white can choose to grab either the bishop or the knight, and now b4. So you have to be very cautious not to make that blunder with black. So while you can go knight a5, maybe you need to make another preparation move like b6 and retreat. I'm not liking it as much as a6, b5, of course, but you know. Can we have top board commentary for grade 6? If you guys would actually tell me the board numbers, that would help more. Okay, I gotta figure out which one it is. Top board, I think it's 19. Are you talking about this game? Are you talking about this game? That is the link to the games. Please confirm. Oh no. Okay, sorry. Oh. That's grade 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, okay. I was off by 2. Okay. So you basically, this is second board, right? Yeah, I think this is second board. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. Grunfeld is one of those tricky defenses. There's mixed feelings among grandmasters whether this is the opening to play or not. Tends to be a positional and sharp, tactical kind of opening or defense. Black is trying to find a way to counterattack in the center. And with white, you need to maintain the center, of course. So let's see how they play this. Castle. White chose a relatively not, I would say not a very sharp line. There are various things that you can play with white here. I think, okay, maybe sharper lines are earlier here. Like if you want to go for this main one, you can. Also, of course, knight f3, bishop g5. I think this is quite a controversial, well, not controversial, but very popular line, bishop g5, taking here at this moment. But looks like Tanaf decided to play e3, which is more of a cautious line. And personally, I've attempted this line on a number of occasions. Bishop e2, it does allow c5. And now, you know, we're playing kind of a Catalan with reverse colors. I have also tried b4. It's not a popular line anymore, but this does stop black from playing c5. It's a more of a classical approach. But let's see here. Takes, bishop c4, takes. Okay. So the idea is white chooses to have this super protected. So in case of c5, we're not worried about it. These two pawns are restricting the bishop in g7, which is nice. And now white would have to just focus on development. C takes, I presume, yes. And we have a comfortable position with white queen d2. Interesting. I'm not sure if I would choose queen d2 here. I would think queen e2. And I'll tell you why. I wouldn't be happy to keep the queen pinned on the d file. That's why this would be my choice. But of course, I do understand there's there's another pin I have to be worried about, but I'm not too scared because I can play h3 and will gladly capture the bishop pair. But white chose, well, now I see why he chose queen d2. He wanted to retreat the bishop in e2 after being attacked. I guess it makes sense because oftentimes we believe this is the best diagonal for the bishop, but now the b5 is played and black could potentially fianchetto their bishop in b7. Maybe we can retreat, keep the knight protected, and why not in some situations move the knight back on bishop f3? Sure, that is a nice idea. Okay, so we have connected the two rooks. Now it's time to come up with a plan, right? Yeah, of course, of course. You know, everyone in the chat, please feel free to let me know which game. I'll try to take them in order. If all of you tell me in the same time, with this game, obviously I won't be able to meet all the requests. But if you put it in the chat, I'll certainly be seeing it, and I will try my best to go to each game. The whole idea of me being here and covering the tournament is making sure that we are taking a look at the future generations of players and learning something from them, same as we would learn from anyone else, and also kind of bringing hopefully some calmness to the parents, potentially our friends, or maybe not. That's another part which is tough as a commentator. But certainly I'm hoping that whatever ideas we're covering from every single game that's played in this tournament is going to bring an educational value one way or another, whether it is from the chess point of view or maybe psychological point of view, how to prepare or things like that. We want to make sure that we consider as many aspects of the game as possible, and always thankful to US Chess for having me here. Okay, so rook c1 is a nice move. I was about to say here, having connected the two rooks, now it is time to come up with a plan to what to do after, right? Because sometimes you complete development, you know you have to do that, but then you need to come up with a plan. So here, white does have technically a majority on the king side of the board with this d pawn also kind of central, better said, maybe a central majority. And there's an open file, so we want to potentially take control over it. I like rook c1. I think h3 is probably a kind of move that white may consider doing as well. There's a prophylactic approach to make sure no back rank will be an issue. And then personally with white, I would consider some doubling maybe on the c file. But I would also like to find a way to go for e4. I'm not seeing it, but maybe if we go rook c5, rook there, maybe the knight could come back to e1 and we could get ready for some f3, e4. I wouldn't go d5 too soon, but it is you know, in the books for sure. So a more pleasant position for white right now, but it's still early to tell what will happen. Board 12, please. Yes. Can you get, sure, I can get board 4 really fast, but okay, you can take a screenshot, I guess, if you want. Oh, he didn't go for my idea. He went for knight d8. Okay, this is a different approach. Sure, he wanted to get rid of that knight fast, and now probably maybe c6 will happen or something. Yeah, sure. All right, let's go back to the request, board 12. All right, thanks for telling me the exact board. It makes things much easier. I don't have it. I have a list here next to me to see which board is which grade, but it helps much more if you're actually telling me the board number. I can avoid wasting time. All right. So HT, who's your whom are you rooting for in this one? Thomas? All right. Well, let's see what we got here. So Thomas is the lower rated, but hey, that doesn't mean anything. Rating is just a number, like I always like to say. It doesn't matter who your opponent is from both sides' perspectives. Okay, I'm not taking sides here. You try to play the best moves that are given to you in the position. Don't look so much. Don't let the rating influence you too much. Ah, okay. H6. Interesting. I've seen this move recently. I have forgotten whose game I saw recently that they were um that they had played this move, and a6 is more popular, by the way, if you have to choose between those two. This is something that Magnus came up with at some point. Okay, and it was quite interesting, just to kind of a waiting move, not to develop the knight in f6, and not let you go bishop g5. But h6 is certainly helpful to avoid bishop g5, but could be also a weakness, the hook that helps white build up an attack later on. Depends on what white chose. Okay, exchange variation and bishop f4. Okay, so white just follows through with normal development. h6 just helped basically stop the bishop to go to g5. We kind of have to trade and develop. 92 still. Yeah, it makes sense. I would expect this to be considered as well, but Thomas is probably trying to avoid getting pinned, and this position is without much fear for black. I don't think we can get much of an attack, even if we have g4, g5 as an option. We have traded a bit too many pieces, so maybe he tried to avoid that with knight e2. Bishop g4 can be met with f3 actually. Okay, rook e8, keeping the pressure. Queen d2, and now Thomas decided to castle. Makes sense. Long castle looks nice, but I don't believe, like I said, that white would actually have strong enough attack, so we might as well just castle. And I think, is he gonna go for the minority attack here, or still f3? Okay, c5. I'm not sure if that was necessary. Maybe rook e1 could have, or rook d1. Maybe rook d1. We can wait. It's always tricky, with these trades, because you're thinking, well, I can trade and attract black's knight on the edge, but you're also attracting it towards b4 and defending, and it just gets out. So it's a double-edged consideration. What is better? Is it better to help it out by yourself, or let them develop wherever they please? Rook d1, very natural, and looks like they have a pretty balanced position right now. Rook e1. So if white, it's interesting. If black plays e4, this plan with e4 is gonna be brilliant for white. But because you locked the center in and everything. But if black does not play that, like let's just make a move like this, for example. Now, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take and go e4? I think that's probably the wisest. E4 directly could work too, but it's gonna give black a little bit of an edge. Which way do we do this? Do we take first? Or do we take here? Maybe we take here. And then you have to be mindful about that. So how exactly is white? I guess white will be thinking of taking and then e4. It's still early to tell. Without the bishops, I prefer black's position a bit here because it just feels a bit more spacious, and I am the kind of person that enjoys space when possible in chess, that is. And so I feel black's position is more comfortable, but that's not to say that white is worse. But white needs to get this e4 in relatively fast, or else it's going to be a bit of a tough position to deal with, I'd say. I wonder if there was a chance to avoid the trades. Yeah, maybe here white should have not played knight g3 yet. Maybe white could start potentially with rook d1, and then bishop a6 could be met with bishop b1 or something. I would really want to keep this bishop. This is white's good bishop, and you are supporting e4, and you are possibly considering an attack on the king side. And so if there was a way, I would try to keep it. Or maybe here was knight f5 an option. It's not doing that much though. I have another potential idea. So maybe takes and then queen e2 to get this, but okay, the knight will just go back. Knight c7 or knight b8 to be brought back, and black is okay. Yeah, it's not much if they get to trade that bishop, in my opinion. Oh, you know what? I have another potential idea. Maybe this, in an attempt to bring the knight, but it's tougher without bishops. So black has equalized in the current position that they have on the board. So we'll have to see. Do we have any other board requests or anything? Hello, thank you so much for joining. Board 18. All right, board 18. We're going on that. Ooh, do I happen to know? Do I happen to know you by any chance? Because I think I know the player with the black pieces, potentially. Or maybe not. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But anyways, maybe you are rooting for the player with the white pieces. Who knows? Okay. Sounds good. I can still remember names. That's good to know. I hope you guys had a great trip there. And all right, so let's see what we got. What have we got here? Okay, Queen's Gambit. Okay, so we have a similar position, but this time, as you can see, compared to the previous position I showed, right? White is going to keep this bishop for a bit longer. So bishop g4. Okay, nice. Yeah, bishop g4 is a nice approach to this Botvinnik. I call it the Botvinnik system. I think Botvinnik was the first one, kind of came up with it. So the idea is basically, right, we're going to go bishop d3, knight d2, castle, the queen tends to go to d2 or c2, the rook comes on the d file, and then we'll have systems or a plan with f3, e4. This is White's idea here. When you're going bishop g4 here with black, you are stopping white from that plan. It's not really ideal to play f3 anymore. The bishop could go back towards g6 or also just go back to e6, and the plan somehow doesn't work as great for some reason. So that's why after bishop g4 you're kind of stopping white's play. The downside to this move is that you have to be mindful about b7, but there is this a gambit-like position, and it looks like Aditya went for a knight d7. So now basically, if you choose to capture that pawn, rook b8 is going to be played, and then I think black's enjoying a great position. Pawn down temporary, but I mean, look at the development of these pieces. Black is doing so much better. Will castle, bishop b4. And white is struggling with development, so you cannot really go for that pawn. You attacked it, but you cannot. As for this one in the center, also does not work, because obviously this is going to lose material for white. So queen b3 is just being taken out to avoid it being attacked. h3, bishop back to e6. Okay, so now we're back to a normal position. But I feel like white lost the move, right? Because h3, because black attracted white to play h3, which means plans with f3, e4 will be harder to do. So it was a very nice move order by black to stop the typical f3, e4 plans. And now c5. Okay, so what do we have here? It's a very good position for black. White again, same as in the previous game, did not get the plan with f3, e4. It's getting harder and harder these days to follow through that plan. If black finds the right move order. So I would say white can go back to the knight f3 plans. Don't need there's no point to go knight e2 as much. I've seen people attempt this too, though, and try knight f4 or maybe with f4, f5 in this situation, but probably the knight would be best placed here. And now, in my opinion, black has to wait a little bit with c4, because if you play it too soon, you might still give white the ability to play e4. So I think probably if knight f3 is played, I might consider rook c8 maybe, or a6 first, a6, b5. Either one of those moves seems pretty natural for black. Yeah, I mean, it's still good position. He's got a good position, and he's playing a stronger player, so good for now. This is board 18, so second board, right? Of second board of 8th grade, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Looking good for him so far. I mean, even c4, it's not the end of the world. I mean, maybe he can get a6 b5 faster. Normally, black is attempting play on that side of the board, and with this setup, white's not ready for an attack, though. I wonder if I could try to build up some pressure with g4, g5. Yeah, black should be playing on the queen side. Yeah, I don't know if c5 should be played immediately or wait a little bit more, but this is the side where you want to play. Yeah, white can try to attempt g4, g5, but it's a matter of where you choose to castle. If you castle short, probably g4, g5 will not be good. So that was mostly the reason why I spent a bit of time to think for white, but I don't think long castle is gonna happen. But this is definitely where black plays. Yeah, you normally are looking at the pawn structure, and based on that, where you have more space, that's the side of the board where you're going to push the pawns to give yourself, something to do. And you want to be mindful, because h6 is played, you want to be mindful of a potential attack being built up, but black is ready to make some trades should that happen. In fact, like, is this option working now? Or no, the engine doesn't seem to be fond of it, because we can move the knight at some point and try to force trade the bishops, and that way the attack will be even less less of a thing for black. Also, what about this? Still doesn't like it. But I mean, it's not bad. That's just computer moving, you know. The knight will be brought back into play like that, or back to f6, or this knight to f6, other knight to d6, e4, come towards e4. So you can kind of stop things here for white and then focus on that side of the board, because if you're just like covering a portion of the board to kind of pay attention to what's happening, we got a majority technically here with the black on this side of the board, and white has it here. That's why we're always trying to look for ways with white to play f3, e4. As for black, we're trying to find a way to advance our pawns. Of course, there's the ability to take two, so in d4, but in those situations, if white recaptures with the knight, then that pawn will be weak. If they recapture with the pawn, we'll have a symmetrical position. So that's why you're kind of keeping the tension in general with black. And when you're ready, you consider playing c4 and start a pawn advancement on the queen side. But that's that. Yeah. Any other questions about this game or any other game? Of course, of course. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for thanks for stopping by. Feel free to come to stay around. Can always go back to the game and see. I hope Aditya has prepped well for the tournament. All right. Where are we? I'm not sure how many games we looked at, because at some point we got sidetracked. So we can catch up with the current positions. If I see something super interesting, I'll stop and review the whole game. Iris is doing quite well in that position. Let's catch up. So we had a Catalan. This is an interesting system, knight c6. A lot of people are attempting c5 or c6 or waiting one more move, but she decided to put the knight here, and it's actually kind of nice because she can potentially have this idea of playing d4. She's basically saying, well, listen, if you're not going d4 yourself, I might consider doing that, and then I'm going to switch towards play later an e5, and I'm going to have nice reverse kind of Benoni or something like that. Tanav, sure. Which border is that? Oh, here. Oopsie, apologies. I meant to go back. Okay. So we stopped somewhere around here, right? Whitehead retreated with the bishop to e2. Rook c1. Queen d7. Interesting choice by black. I was thinking rook c8 was a more natural approach. Black does need to trade pieces in this situation, because if those pawns march, it's gonna be a problem. Queen d7, okay, still connects the rooks and will be bringing a rook to c8, or maybe black wants after rook here to bring this other rook and then bishop f8, e6 or e5. Okay, this is a different idea. I see. Did not consider it at first. Okay, so yeah, rook d1 could be an option for white. Just I'm not in a rush to double on the file. In fact, I just saw another idea. I could go d5, allow these bishops to be traded, and then get e4 in knight e4, good position or something. That could be an option for white to try to improve further the position. So let's just say you play rook c8. Let's test my idea. Can you even take? Where do you move the knight? a5? But I'm liking this for white. Let's see. Maybe this. You know why I like this? Because it comes in with tempo, and now I'm getting e4. Let's go. Space. What don't I do to get a little bit more space? At least I'm not sacrificing pieces so far, so that's a good thing. Yeah, so that is a plan for white. That's basically what white should be doing. Get these two pawns pushed forward in good circumstance, in such a way that it's, you know, neither of them is getting lost, and then of course later on the knight would be gladly coming towards c6. So if that is an option, we are taking it very, very gladly. But yeah, that is the plan. It seems like a good position for white, yes. Yes, it does. It's slightly better for white. It's more. It's a slightly better position for white. But oh, he played rook f1. Looks like, okay. So that move was actually played. Very good choice by Tanaf, and yeah. Still early, better position, but you know, it's still a long game. I mean, the players have started the game about an hour and 15 or 13 minutes. Not about, definitely an hour 13 minutes ago or something. So it's today's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a very long day. I need to, you know, make that make that note. Everyone should keep in mind that there are a lot of things that you can do on site if you happen to be there and you're watching the stream. Make sure you take advantage of some of the lectures, the potential opportunities to meet the grandmasters, guests on site, joining the lectures, maybe go and challenge the players to some blitz games. I believe today is going to be the day where Grandmaster Michael Rode is going to take all comers for blitz in the exhibit hall C, which I believe is the Skittles room. It's gonna start at 2:30, between 2:30 and 4. So after you know, the an hour going into around two, sorry, round two of the day, round 4 overall. So it's going to be hopefully something that people are joining. I believe there's a scholastic meeting. If you happen to be a parent of a girl, make sure you stop by Girls Club Room. The special guest for the entire weekend is Women Grandmaster Zoe Tang, really wonderful person. She's had a great improvement in the past few years, won the US Junior Girls Championship last year, and she's recently represented Team USA at a World Team Championship. And so if you have the opportunity to stop by, maybe get your games analyzed. It's the girls' room, so you know, if you have a boy, unfortunately, I think they might let you in, but the girls do take priority. Say hi to all the ladies, and putting that event together for the so many years. It's really incredible to see all the work that they do to continue creating a nice environment for girls. And yeah, so be sure to stop at that. And yeah, there's just something I want to remind everyone. You can check out all the schedule of events on the official site. There's a PDF you can download and see, you know, every hour what is happening. There's a lecture starting in an hour, I believe, also today. And that lecture is going to be by Grandmaster Michael Rode. He's had a nice career as a chess player, also coach. And that is happening at 11:30 in room 401B. 401B is the room. 401A or 401B, I think, is the room that you need to remember, because lectures are happening there. And you know, I'd recommend you stop by and when you get the chance. And if the kids are not playing at the time, maybe make sure that they are listening to the talks as well. There's always something to learn. Okay, so I think I'll take a short break right now unless we have more requests. Cool, Akash. So for grades 9th through 12th, there are top four boards being broadcast, and then grades 2 to 8th, 2nd to 8th grade, they're top 2 boards. So altogether we have 30 boards. Yeah. So and this is the link if you missed it. I pinned the article that JJ has written so that you guys have the ability to see it, but I'll try to post both. Maybe I should do that in the break, so that you can catch up with the recap of day 1, and you can catch up with the games on the link I just posted, so you can see them all. But yeah, that's basically how it is. Top 4 grades 9 to 12, top 2 grades 2 to 8. Do we have any other questions before I take my first break of the day? All right, so I will be leaving you with an overview of the top boards for the first two, well, eighth, or I can change, of course, I don't know. But I'll leave you with an overview of 12th and 11th. I'm sorry, 11th and 12th grade. And I will be back in about somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. So I hope you stay close, and let's see you in a little bit. Apologies about the delay. We are back. Let's see what we missed. Feel free to let me know if there's a particular position you want me to, or particular game you want me to go over. It is 10:38 a.m. Pacific at this point, so if you are interested in learning more about the youth seminars, I would recommend. Let's see if my page is actually working. Why didn't it? Should. What? So this works, but this other page does not work. Oh, it worked. Finally. Okay. So if you are on site, just wanted to remind all of you, you can check all the schedules on the official page. There's a schedule link in the comments that I've created as well. So in case you're missing it at some point and you don't know where to go, what to look for, you can do so from here, from the stream. So I'm putting it in the chat right now. So if you go on that link provided in the chat, you will get to a page where you can check all of the schedules that I'm looking at right now. So I just wanted to, just kind of remind all of you that this seminar is currently going on right now. There's going to be a friends and family tournament starting at, it actually started. Sorry, never mind. Hopefully you have registered and can check it out. And then lecture with Grandmaster Michael Rode. Highly recommend prepping. I mean, if you have the opportunity to go there, to do so. That starts in about an hour, less than an hour, in room 401B. You can figure out all of the details by following that link that I've provided and checking out the, it's really beautifully organized here. You have all of the days and it just keeps you kind of updated with everything happening on site. But all right, we can get to the games right now. So we'll be back. Is live streaming 10 seconds delayed? The live streaming is live. There's no delay on my stream. There's no delay on my streaming. There shouldn't be. I mean, there's usually a small delay that happens like that, not on purpose, but based on how the information is transmitted and stuff. It's not purposefully given. As for the games have 2-move delay, so it could be that they are behind for 1 minute. It could be they're behind for more than that, but that is currently the US policy that they're going with. So 2 moves delay, so we are seeing the moves behind as soon as the game is over. This kind of helps the commentators because as soon as the game is over, we're actually getting all of the moves, so we don't need to stay an extra 15 minutes after the games are done. And I do enjoy this much better in my commentary, because sometimes you get delayed, the round is supposed to start, you have to be there, and this way it's yeah, the board is delayed by 2 moves. So I don't know what exactly is happening on the board. It helps also with making sure the fair play policy is into place. So yeah, 2 moves. All right, well, I think we can take it back from the beginning, unless you guys have specific requests. And I am liking William's position. Looks like Black may have played something. Okay, so he did go for the trade. He chose to go to b5. a6 is usually the place to go, but okay, not really right now after you played knight to d7. That is probably not quite ideal. Black needs to find the right moment to play f6. This is probably too soon. Knight g6 is an option, bishop e7, and actually Black could try long castling as well. Who says you have to castle short? And white avoided the trade and knight f5. But knight f5 really invites that knight to be traded, and then, you know, if you trade queen takes, and then white will have the ability to start pushing that pawn. Or maybe they take with the f pawn directly. What am I talking about? This is even better. F pawn. Although normally we take towards the center, or we want to keep a good position, like was my original instinct, was not good in this position. You always have to double check everything. You have more options. Don't just go with one, the first one that comes to mind. Always consider alternatives, because you never know what you might miss. So here white would be good, so that's why black decided to play g6 and probably thought the knight will be staying there for a while. But after the trade and queen h5, white is prepping some infiltrations here, and black has a, you know, better French position technically because the bishop has been saved. But the issue is now f7, and I don't know how black is gonna develop. The knight f8 g6. Yeah. But as you can see, black is in trouble. Well, black is struggling now because you see, if you castle, this pawn is hanging. I mean, that's obvious. I get it. I just I just want to make a point. If you move this rook to protect f7 to castle, then this pawn is hanging, and we're probably taking with the queen. With the queen is better because it's with the tempo. If you play h6 saying, well, my rook is protected, I'm actually threatening the knight, you gotta go back, white says, no, I don't actually have to go back. I'm gonna take, and then I'm gonna take here. So see, that is my point. Black is struggling to cover c7. Maybe this was one of the reasons why queen b6 was played. Maybe he's attempting to go queen c7, cover the pawn, and then castle. But this gives white so many extra moves to build up the attack. a5 or b4 first, followed by b5 or a5, and white's definitely enjoying a much better position. And this goes to show you that just because you know some ideas, just because you know some of the pieces that need to be traded, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the kind of position that's good. Maybe along the way you have created some concessions in your position, and unfortunately for black, the concession is the fact that his pawns are doubled, and now this f pawn is the weak link of the position, and because of that, black is struggling with doing something, breaking through. So that is a small problem here in the position. All right, there must be an error. Okay, let me check which board is that. This one? Oh yeah, that's a DGT error. It will get fixed in the end. Yeah, it will get fixed. Sometimes there are errors and they fix it. The DGT operators fix them, but it takes a moment for you know, the broadcasting site to pick it up. So it will take a moment to get fixed. But this is probably the position they have. So very likely, you know, this was played and then queen takes, and you know, then maybe queen c3 was played or something, or maybe not even queen c3. The way it got fixed is like this. So they traded, they took, and white played queen c4. So this is the position that they actually have. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's not on purpose. It's just, yeah, a nice catch. But yeah, it's this is very likely the position they're having on the board right now, and it looks pretty good for Adve, because IQP. I mean, it's not clear how we'll win it, but yeah. Yeah, don't worry, all good, all good. All right, so this is about equal. Maybe we'll see some. I have a feeling this round we'll see more unexpected results. Maybe some upsets, possibly. I think yesterday there was an upset. And we might see more today. And the more the tournament advances, more likely we are to see upsets or draws, or draws are upsets too, right? So what have we got here? So Arco is having a good position out of the opening, and try to be fancy by leaving the bishop hang for this little trick over here. That's why black played bishop b7, if you're wondering. Took the pawn, knight back to f3. We want this bishop gone. Maybe knight g3 could have been a nice move. And we're not worried about the trade, because guess what? This king has no protection. So the rook will come in. Queen comes to d5. This looks menacing for black's king. Arco went for the pawn in h6, which, don't get me wrong, is nice to grab, but I would have liked the other option much more, bringing another piece towards the game. Can I do this, or is queen f4? How much help does the capturing of that pawn really bring? Not sure. What is the best approach for black to defend here? Does anyone have any idea? Queen f4 is okay. Taking helps, so we don't want to take. Like, it doubles the pawns, but it opens the file, so that's definitely something we want to avoid. Could black just play d5 and try to utilize this as a defense mechanism? If you bring in the queen, I'm just gonna offer a trade. And that's why this was more forcing. I don't believe this was an option here, because I don't know why I'm thinking. Still thinking. Oh, wait, can we? No, we cannot. What shall we do here? Just castle. It's like, I don't care. No, there's something better. What is it? We can't trade. At least I don't want to. I mean, I could and do this, but no, it's not mate or anything. I'm only playing, if the opponent makes a mistake to have this checked. No, we don't want to play like that. What happens after d5? I'm having a... no. No, not that. Sad. Could we just go queen e2 and then... I'm going to bring the queen into the play. The queen is an important... Ooh, maybe... Here? You know what? I'm not in a rush. Check this out. We normally see bishop versus knight domination, where the bishop is restricting a knight on the rim, or we see a knight restricting a bishop on the edge if the knight is super central, and there are a few pawns that also restrict that bishop. But here we're seeing a knight versus knight domination. When I was a kid, one of the first things that my dad taught me was, whenever a knight goes to the edge of the board, another knight the opponent's knight should go in the center. Why? Because knights from opposite sides are controlling two important squares, right? So then if one knight goes away, that is black's knight went away from the control of those squares, we are going in, controlling those squares, and yeah, look at that sad knight in a5, and look at this gorgeous knight here, getting ready to bring in the queen. We are opening the path for the queen to come in. We're not even in a rush. The knight can go to h5 as well. We don't care about g2, of course. That's we're begging you to grab that pawn so that we can actually have a file open for our pieces. I'm loving this move, knight e5, and it kind of shows you that when your opponent's king is weak, and if you have a bit of time to improve the position of your pieces, you don't necessarily need to rush. We tend to have this myth idea in our mind that you have to rush or else they will bring their king to safety. But here there's no place to bring the king to safety. As long as you start controlling squares around it, eventually it will be troublesome. Like, for example, a move like this, I don't even think it works, because we might have some kind of discovered okay, I was gonna do that, but it's not so great. We will have a discovered attack. I mean, maybe we have this, but no, not that. I'm not thinking about that. I can bring in my queen, right? Which is what I wanted to do in the first place. Or I can also do this if I want to bring extra. Okay, the engine is not a fan of it. But really, does this really not work? I guess not. So anyways, bishop h6 was played, and black did not go for d5. d5 would have helped bring in the queen to the defense. Instead, black decided to go bishop f6. Bishop f6 allows knight g3 again, I believe. Or queen f4? Oh, Arco went for the trade of the bishops. No, why would you want to trade that bishop? We're happy with the trade. Or not too happy. Wait, if I take, you take, I take, you take, maybe I'll be able to survive here putting the king on the f file. But maybe after takes, could we do this, and when they capture we can go rook g1. Oh, this would be nice for white. So this was probably his thinking process. King g7 was played. I feel like knight g3 or knight g3 has to be a good move at some point, is it not yet? This is always a problem. What about queen f4? Still allows the trades, which... Oh, here we would take here, my bad. What is a good move for white here? Oh, don't tell me it's knight f4. Oh, cute. To go for knight e6. This would be nice. That bishop e7 in this game, I mean, maybe he wasn't familiar with this. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm back. With this Scotch Goering gambit. It's not a mistake, it's just an inaccurate decision basically early on. You have to know the theory if you're gonna get the second pawn. I tend to just not take in c3. I just whatever take the pawn back if I play that with black. I don't know, knight f4 here would have been nice. Okay, with the trade, white is helping black bring some pieces to the game. I mean, we are up a pawn indeed, but I think it's going to be difficult to imagine an attack because now that rook is coming into play too. Well, ooh, this is not looking good for black. The position was quite fine when I left off. Oh, why he played c5? He was trying to figure out how to get d5 in, but he ended up going c5 instead. I would say probably maybe bishop f8 is a nice regrouping move, or knight e6, knight c5. Okay, I think we can just recapture. I mean, this is an option too, but it's gonna let black with extra material. So unless white is thinking to recapture with the bishop, which actually could be nice for the regrouping. I remember when he was a kid, Jed was actually entering time trouble potentially. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. He's doing pretty well with time management in this game. Someone requested this game. I think they're rooting for Levon, but it's kind of a tough position for black right now, unfortunately. Okay, this IQP position is quite typical. There's going to be some grind there. Logan did not get much out of the opening, but he's probably going to go for a4. Can we have an update? Sure, we can have an update. Let me just see here. Iris has a good position. We never actually caught up with this game. Let me just see the current position on this one, and we're going there. All right, so this is going to be actually an interesting other game to follow, because we had the English attack in the Najdorf, and it's usually kind of an aggressive position. Okay, so we left off somewhere around here, right after rook d1. And I was suggesting that white needs to find the right moment to support potentially pushing those two pawns up. Black played d6. Okay, that's one way to stop it. Makes sense. Okay, so white stayed with the bishop there, but it's not queen a7. What's wrong with queen d? Ah, oops. Oopsie daisy. I almost blundered. It's not the time for blunders yet, Sabina. You have 2 more rounds to cover. Okay, does white really threaten to take the pawn in a6? I believe the answer is yes. How terrible is f5? It's probably too weakening. Okay, I know the move. This is the move that black should probably play, I think. this would allow the queen to be chased away. And of course, we'll grab this pawn on the way out. So I do like knight d5 in this position. Maybe there's something even better than that. A queen a7 though was played. Does this allow some tactical ideas? Like maybe bishop a3 stuff? If only I could double on the c file really fast and go rook c7. Wouldn't that be so gorgeous? But really, I mean, why not? Bishop a3. I like bishop a3. Also, of course, I'm threatening to take and take. If you go here, now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I need to take or go bishop c5. It's just I don't really see a follow-up. I mean, we can technically take and take, but I again don't see a follow-up yet. That pawn is weak, but how do we get the advantage here for white? How do we put additional pressure? Or do we go bishop d3 actually? To try? Oh, okay, I take it back. I'm so sorry. It must be this beautiful move. Protected. Come on, stay there, engine. Okay. Don't mess with my beautiful move, please. Rook c6. Ah, I'm so glad I could have made that move. I always wanted to make so one of my favorite books has been The Invisible Chess Moves by Neiman and Afek. And okay, a lot of people are saying, you know, those positions are known. I'm like, I don't care. They're beautiful positions gathered together in a book that kind of helps develop creativity. And yeah, rook c6, it's like one of those things, protected square. You're not thinking about it because you always want to place your pieces on squares that are protected, but that one is actually protected indirectly. So if you take, I take, and you're gonna be losing, of course, easily. Okay, so that's basically the idea of this move and why I like it so much. And basically with this move, white puts pressure on a6 and then gets the ability to bring another rook to the file and stuff. It is indeed, it is. And so if that move is found, is giving white some good definitely some edge in the position, because if a6 pawn is lost, then b5 will be weak, potentially will be lost too, and then suddenly, you know, white's playing for the advantage. Okay, we are far from that move being played. It was just, well, white needs to find bishop a3 first, and then if black plays knight d5, that's how you get to that. But you know, it can happen, it could be, it could not be, I don't know, but it's a nice idea to keep in mind. Sure, of course, now you have to think about it, pass on good vibes, so that it is found, I guess. But it's always a tricky tricky thing, but it's a beautiful idea. Definitely white does want to take control over the file, but you know, normally it gets traded if the rook is being moved. Although, you know, here, and now that I'm looking at the position more and I know that that idea is possible, we can maybe go rook c2 or rook c3 also with a similar idea. It's not as fancy, but in a similar fashion, you know, that rook cannot be, maybe even rook c5. Because rook c5, not rook c5. Oh my goodness, what is it? Queen takes. Oh no, oh no, I almost blundered. Oh no, don't play that. Ay, ay, ay. Just don't go queen. I was so happy. Like, you can go anywhere. Rook c5 is it is the best if that doesn't work. But here, you know, this is a problem because this hangs. Okay, so don't go to rook c5. You can go rook c2. You can go rook c3, or bishop a3. I mean, I would choose bishop a3. All right, play knight d5. Oh my god, oh my god. Are they going for that for my line? I mean, if they are, I'm expecting my payment. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, rook c6, it is a beautiful idea. Even if it is not found, it's definitely something you can share to Tanav after the game. An idea to keep in mind for the other situations where their, you know, file is open and you're trying to double up and stuff. So sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, what else? What other games do we have? There was another game we were looking at. Where is it? This one. We had stopped around here. Aditya's dad requested us to look at the position. So it looks like white took an. Why did he choose to take with the bishop? Knight is usually the form of recapturing in this position for black. Because then we got the knight perfectly placed to take control over the center. I'm not the biggest fan of bishop takes, but maybe he had some other ideas in mind, and I feel like he's weakening his position a bit more than I would like to. He didn't want this queen to infiltrate, and it makes sense. Jed Sloan played the Greek gift, but Jed was already winning. He did? Ooh la la. Okay. Oh, I listed this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So he took with the bishop. Nice one. Nice one, Jed. Nice retreat, and now it works. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be a beautiful finish here. You have to go king g6, probably. King g8 leads to mate. King h6 leads to losses. It's still gonna lead to losses, unfortunately. Oh no, that's a tough one for Levon. Can you please check which board is that, Zapata? Williams, Christopher, Williams. I can't find it. Can you tell me the board, please? Oh, I found it. Christopher Williams. Got it. I got it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what have we got here? This was some kind of Sicilian, right? Taimanov. Development. Okay, so everything pretty theoretical so far. Black played d5 and took very nicely, and now bishop d4. Knight e5, of course. After you do that, you do want to block the diagonal and also block this pawn from advancing, and then, you know, maybe d5 at some point will be a plan. So black is getting some control over things. Bishop h4 also defends f7. Sorry, I should take now. No, white doesn't have any attack and the king has stayed somewhat weak. Sometimes people retreat, but I fear these ideas. Actually, this was an interesting approach. So brought the knight to h4, changed the mind, and now is back to g6. I'm not sure where the knight was better placed. Can we attempt? Yeah, something like this to put pressure. Since f7 is covered, I think black can certainly do something like that, right? Knight h4. Is black gonna take the draw here? Or is he gonna take here? Because this is something that could have been done earlier. And I actually would have liked this position a bit more. But I think black's play should still be doubling up on the e file and try to get this pawn. It's black is enjoying a much better position. I mean, so this is the second time we're getting the knight to h4, and there's no increment in this game. So he's either just was trying to get white to lose a bit of time because there's only delay. Will time? Yeah, time can play a part. So if Krish is, oh wait, white doesn't want to draw. Christopher has a worse position. I might be the wise decision considering time-wise. So the time control for the tournament, for those of you who missed it, it's 90 minutes with 10 seconds delay. No increment. So, you know, repeating the position to get extra time is not gonna work here. The only thing is to just save a bit of time, but that's about all you get. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the wise decision to not repeat with queen g3. I mean, if I were black, I would still take the bishop, right? I mean, and rook e6. I think that's basically the plan. White may try to put pressure here, but I think this is weaker than d6. So Krish has to figure this plan out and play a bit faster because time is not. Or better said, time is of essence, right? Time is of essence in that game. What else? What else have we got? So I was around here. We're looking at that game. Steven didn't catch up with. Oh, he got to play e6. He got to play e6. Is he going to have the ability to grab his pawn back eventually? Hopefully. Hopefully. e3. I would have liked this move, I think. King takes g2 was played. Okay, so he has to double on the e file in that game. Okay, this rook endgame. He still didn't get his pawn back. He won't be happy. Uh-oh. No, Steven, what have you done? Both players are playing relatively fast, but Black is in charge now. He's gonna win this. Wow, this would be a big upset. And I know Steven, so I feel for him. This would be like a huge upset. It's tough because you're playing a lower rated player. You obviously want to win. You play a line that gives you some positional edge, but then I gotta admit, Black has played really impressively well this game. Like, Queen b6 very well found to trade queen so that there's never an issue with this pawn. I'm surprised about pawn takes. Probably knight takes would have helped Black have an even better pawn structure and better position. And I'm just surprised that Steven never really got the pawn back. Like, what about this move? Doesn't this just get the pawn back? I guess not. No, if you do that, we take it. But maybe he just didn't wanna. I wonder if he could have played knight here. But still, bishop g7. And white has to be mindful about a2. Maybe he shouldn't have taken. Maybe he could have played a3 prophylaxis and then tried to just kind of go for. But it's not easy. Maybe h3 first, followed by. Black always has some kind of ways of taking control over the position. Or rook f6 is also unpleasant. Yeah, this, of course, after 92, that is the move that Black has to play to finally free up the extra pawn. Because they're doubled, and he wants to go e4, e5, d4, and he did it. Okay, so I have a, but it's probably not helping much. I was thinking to do something like this. I mean, I would love to go f4 here, but I just don't have time to play it. Check also doesn't help. This is a tough endgame. I mean, it's hard to imagine what's. Yeah, b4 made sense. Maybe c4. Rook c6. I forgot about this move. I forgot about the move. c4 would have been good otherwise. c3, does he still have rook c6? He does. That's why he moved the king. But maybe he should have brought it on this side of the board instead. At least he's ready to block those pawns. Because knowing the game, I mean, in hindsight, it's always easier to say, well, this had to be played. But yeah, the king in d2 could also go to e2 and just kind of hold the position. So what happened is White trying to play for a win kind of lost objectivity a bit, and he got worse and he kept trying to play for a win. I think that was the bad thing that happened on a psychological level. This of course allows the capture, so that's not so good. Yeah, now it's all over. It's just over. Tough loss for Steven. Kudos to Evan for being able to hold on to the position. I hope Steven shakes it off and comes back to win the next. He has to win the remaining 4 rounds to finish on top in his section. This position definitely looks slightly better for black, but it is still a game. Wait, was this move actually played? Oh, look at this gorgeousness. Look at this gorgeousness. Queen e6. Queen e6 or rook c7 first? Rook c7? Rook c7. Oh my god. If you take... Wow. This is gorgeous. This is definitely going in the article. I'm not fully understanding the move queen a8. Black was trying to bring the queen somewhere into play probably, but that just took the queen completely out of all defenses. I mean, the position is already difficult with the king, but this has just made it wow. And obviously if you take, then check and mate in 3 2 3, and then wow, so beautiful. This has got to be the move of the round so far. Bishop takes f6. We're waiting for rook c7. A draw in this game. Oh, that's Aditya's game. We know Aditya. Quite symmetrical. It's gonna be a swindle eventually, probably. That looked equal. Oh wow. Oh, this is a tough mistake to allow knight g5, and you don't have the time to do this because I think we just take, and regardless of what you capture, white's gonna get the center, and it's gonna be, of course, a good position. And here, so now white is just up a pawn, and black is staying for the defense, rook f8, to try to get out of the smothered king position there. 96 very strong, and now g6 is weak, so white's prepping f3, e4, very beautiful, queen f7 maybe, or h4. Is h4 actually trapping the queen? I think so, right? And white's headed to the win. White is headed to the win there. So this game I was mentioning earlier, I thought black had to double up on the e file. Instead, he chose queen e7 and trading the bishops. But wait, I'm confused. Isn't this a free pawn that could have been captured by black? Because, you know, I mean, this endgame, I'm all in to win. I'm in it to win it. There's that's a nice way to win this position for black. Okay, so maybe he just wanted to get his pawns back together and have this position. Might be easier to play considering the time difference, but I'm not sure. I would have preferred to bring the rooks to put pressure than that. This position looks do we go rook a2 or rook a4? Maybe rook a2. I fear after rook a4, there's nothing to fear. I mean, the question is, which pawn do we take? Maybe this one, so that we are closer to this with the king. And this likely could end in a draw as well. Oh no, Aditya, what did he do? Well, he had to weaken his king. I did mention that. Oh, this is even a move that I didn't see. If the queen infiltrates, it's a done deal. Oh. Yeah, this is difficult now. I think we can take. If you take like this, maybe in between rook e1 and take. It'll be difficult to defend for black here. The only hope is if white doesn't do something immediately and then black gets this to blocking the position, but likely white will see this. Oh wow, okay. This is a nice win by Ethan. So Elliot did win that. Like, but he won earlier. He won a piece or something, right? Yeah, a5 mistaken. Cute tactic, 2 pieces. And what pieces? The bishop pair for the rook, and a bunch of pawns are falling. So white was in his way to win in the end. Very nice. It's actually kind of nice to see a mate on the board like this also, because we typically do not see it. Sorry about that. It's getting cold here. It's getting colder. It's probably colder than it is in Spokane. Was there something wrong with this and potentially take? Because I don't see it. Black is doing okay here, so what did he do instead? Played f5? Doesn't that allow a little sacrifice over here? I think so. This is going to be a problem. There's going to be a big problem for black if white finds the move knight takes d5. And should, I mean, you know, f5 just closes down the action of the queen and now most of black's pieces. He probably wanted to go knight e4, but okay, if he wants to go knight e4, might as well just, okay, it's not a good move, but this probably allows some infiltrations anyways. But no, just knight e3 and take the pawn. The knight protects the queen. Maybe black forgot that the knight protects the queen and he thought rook f8 is going to be a deflection and he loses the queen. Sometimes we can have blind spots like that. That's why it's important to work on tactics a lot and pay attention to, you know, geometrical ideas. Studies are good with that as well. Was rook c6 found in that position? No. Ah, pity. Rook c6 was not found. This was my suggestion, and I thought it was going to give white a really nice edge here. Actually, I didn't think about it, but maybe takes could be even better. Looking at the position again, I'm improving my idea. And then rook c6 would come even more powerful because you know, that knight could be unpleasant controlling some squares, maybe being able to retreat, but like this there's nothing. And we have same color bishop, and white's bishop, even if it's technically the bad bishop based on these two pawns, it does have entrance ideas. Okay, so white decided to take a move too late. Okay, now this position is equal. Yeah, might end in a draw. I mean, time-wise, both players are doing about the same thing, but yeah. Drawing this game. What a beautiful way to march all the pawns forward by Jack in this game. And the two bishops looking towards the king side. It's always a pleasure to see. Though knights are my favorite pieces, but I love a good position with the bishop pair. Okay, cute mate on the board in this game. Sriyansh has won his game. Oh, we see a lot of mates in the lower grades. I can see that players are playing till mate, and it's cute mates. You know, if you see like, okay, this one was a bit too much extra material, but still a cute mate. As I said, mates all around. I need to see if there's some cute tactic also that I can show. And feel free to let me know in the chat if there's any particular position or game you want me to go over, you know. I'd love to consider looking at it. This is nice. No, this was already pretty good for black. Extra pawn. Maybe some missed opportunities, but the plan was that just create a pass pawn on the king side and then win the knight and then the game. So how many games do we have remaining actually? Let me check. Some of the top boards on... No, we still have quite a few actually. We have quite a few. I thought we had much less, but... So they started at... Yeah, they started 2.5 hours ago. So I guess it makes sense that there's still a lot of games remaining. Please feel free to let me know if there's a particular game you want me to review. If not, I'm taking it in the order. That way you don't feel like I'm leaving anyone behind or anything like that. I guess black was able... I was talking about this position. I remember how around here I was explaining how tough it is for black with that pawn. So he did find a way to retreat with the queen to c7, and it has allowed white to get quite a bit of space on the queen side. And now he's trying to push that knight back and maybe regroup a bit to be able to keep the king safe. But I mean, white keeps improving. Okay, nice find by black trying to trade a bishop, though that's a good bishop, so I think white should be happy with the trade. The question is, can we play h4? I would love to play that move. That way, you know, I'm letting you capture, I'm getting my rook on a better square, and h6 will be a weakness. No, he didn't want to trade. Aw. Of course, it makes sense still because black lacks space, but I would have traded that bishop. That's just me. Okay, the bishop will go back to e7. And, I don't know, can we take? Or are we gonna get the queen trapped? No, we're gonna get a draw, or maybe even more than a draw. Guess what? I'm changing my... No. I moved the queen here. No? What is the best way to trap the queen? Ah, I saw. No, because I take f7. Apologies. What is the way to trap the queen? Or maybe queen c7? But it's not trapping it. Sad. I don't think we can trap it. It's just a rumor. The queen cannot actually be trapped that I can see. Maybe there's a way, but I don't see it. I don't see it. F5. Whatever. We don't care about the queen. No, I don't know. Okay, white's not in a rush to take that pawn. I don't know. I wouldn't take it. I'd probably maybe knight here. Or actually, can we perhaps c4 and b5? Maybe b5 directly. Some fish like that. Oh, I saw a new idea. How did I not think of this earlier? G4. Oh, this is what he wants to play. See, that's why you need to keep an open mind to come up with different ideas. When it doesn't work, don't stay focused on it only. Focus a little bit. Try to find it if you cannot. You need a new road to mastery. G4. And no, I'm not taking back after that. I'm going f5. Because f7, f7 is the weakness in black's position. And this is a cute positional kind of game. It's like, it's counterintuitive to play f4, but I have the feeling William may have had in mind to play g4. We'll see. We'll be back. I definitely want to see what's happening. Oh my god. Oh my god. This has been played until the end. Wow. Okay. I thought maybe Aritra would have some chances in this game too, but I guess not. Not a chance. Not a chance whatsoever. Wait, he didn't even take the pawn. At this point, they were just playing a joke. Like, you know, he could have played king h3 and just play a little bit longer. I'm kidding. All right, so drawn that game, so that is good for Advey, definitely. No, I feel for Arco, he had such a good position, such a potentially nice attack around here. If you guys remember, I was mentioning that that pawn was not an important pawn for white to capture. Instead, bringing the pieces to better locations was much more valuable. So if d5 were to be played to cover the bishop, then we could bring the knight in h5, then we could bring this other knight, knight in e5, then we could bring this other knight in h5 and just kind of put more pressure, bring the queen towards g4. But instead he took that pawn, and then the next moves could still maintain some kind of advantage. But as the pieces got moved, and now especially the queen straighted, white's advantage is gone, even if they're up a pawn, because there's no easy way. b3, oh wow, that's cute. And then that a pawn is gonna be dangerous later. Oh no. Oh, I'm not liking that. Was this an option? Well, that allows maybe f4 first. I mean, this pawn is covered. We don't need to go rook c1. So white has made his rook passive, and now it's gonna be difficult to meet knight d3. I don't know what's the best placement for the king. Maybe here. Oh, a5. Sorry, a5. That's why, you know, geometrical stuff, I always mention you gotta be careful for. Jed had won. We knew that it was winning shortly in a beautiful Greek gift fashion. Yes, we still see the Greek gift, so always be careful that you don't blunder h7. And now it's just going to be over after king takes. I don't know if he was planning to take the rook or something else. The game is winning for white there anyways. Whatever happened in this game? Black went for the attack. Seems quite okay. Queen d3, offering a trade is always a good thing. The more... Oh... Rook b1. So, what is the best move for black? I know, I have my moments when I'm just like quiet, quiet zone. I'm not even sure what I'm thinking about, but I pretend like I'm thinking about something. And then I remember, wait, there's a position at hand. What to do? And I still don't know. Queen f2 is an option, maybe? Or... Queen e5, but I don't think it does that much. It didn't like bishop e5 as much. That's why I was trying to see if there's something. Ah, is this an option? Maybe not. Maybe not, because the knight can just go back and... But something that involves the knight, I'm sure. I am sure, because this is not an actual threat, because a check rook. So we need some... Can we just play something random? We need some move. Board 16 looks like a draw. Okay, I'm going to in just a moment. Just let me see if I can find a move here. Bishop c1. I don't know. What is the... What is the move? I don't know. Wow. Oh, that's how he won. Oh, cute. Of course. Of course. Cute. Cute way to win. Nice one, Eric. Nice one. Okay, let's go to board 16. Let's go to board 16. So lots of moves have been played since I left off, but it looks like at least black is playing slightly faster, which is good for him. And now, yeah, now the position is relatively good. Good to get a draw. Yes, you're right. This likely could end in a draw. Okay, so where were we? Here. So we caught up with that game. Looks like this game ended in a draw. A nice defense by Jerry, taking creating an upset there. This game looks also quite balanced, actually. So we'll see if... Oh no, there's more moves. Sorry about that. I needed to catch up with the moves. It still looks quite equal. I mean, white has a protected passed pawn, which helps stops b4 if there's no breaks or ways to reach the king. This game could also very well finish in a draw. So Abiram was putting a bit of pressure on Black's king. This was the Najdorf that I said, I think, that I was going to come back to. Was it Najdorf or... Yeah, I think it was the Najdorf, yeah. Okay, so probably we're going to recapture here and bring in the rook. White is not in a rush to take the knight because Black cannot escape the situation. And, I mean, we're down a rook, but we should be able to take it after rook f1. We should be able to get it back. There's a tough loss for Steven in that game. Okay, Black enjoys a more favorable position with pressure on c3, but White should be fine defending there, I think. Okay, so this game finished. Beautiful, beautiful idea here after this unexpected queen a8. I loved this by Gordon. Bishop takes f6 and rook c7, two double exclam moves. I would have given them double exclam even if chess.com wouldn't have. But what, all of the moves are great besides this one. Come on, chess.com. get your lines get your lines all together. Come on, that's the best move in the position. That's funny actually that he did not give that move. Double exclam. I think that was quite funny. Was there something else that would have gotten potentially double exclam? I don't, unless queen takes d6. No, I mean that's what he played. Unless there's queen, no. Rook c8, no. I don't know why this move does not get the double exclam. So White's now up how many pawns? Three pawns and counting. Okay. So Gordon wins in a beautiful fashion. That game ended in a draw. This one, oh. Oh no. Other Gordon dropped a piece. He probably thought he's just trading, but he forgot that with the trades deflection, he's losing a piece, and now it is Aditya is on his way to win this if he didn't already. What's the current? This is the current position, yeah. He's gonna grab additional pawns here, just needs to make sure he doesn't lose any material. Another rook endgame. This is an interesting one. Black has to be very careful here. All trades are good trades. Rook b2. Okay, so they agreed on a draw, and this makes sense. Oh yeah, this was the game with queen takes f7. Beautiful finish. Nice. This is board 16 that we're looking at earlier. And likely this game can end in a draw quite soon. Black has to be mindful of the time, but is this game? Yeah, Vijay is going to try to press further because he's the higher rated player, but I think it's going to be difficult to imagine that. I think they repeated 3 times by now. I guess not. If Black would get the pawn to c2, maybe he would have some chances to win, but like this, it's just not gonna happen. Aditya has attempted defense, but it's difficult. The king is pretty weak. I wonder if I can play here with white to get rid of the knight, to put pressure on the attack. I think that's gonna be a good way to build this attack. But both players are getting low on time, so maybe there's still a chance to try to save this. He's down a pawn though, so that was over. This was a sad blunder, I'd say, for black. Instead of playing knight d3, taking a pawn, he drops a pawn. Did white find it? Yep. Knight takes. And with the infiltration of the queen. Wait, couldn't white just hide in b3? Ah, maybe not, because bishop takes here with check. So what about king c3? Check? I mean, I'm going for it. I'm not scared. If you do this, I saw that check, and I'm not scared. You have one more check here, and I believe I have to do this. And luckily for me, you don't have a deflection with another piece, and okay, you have one more check, and the checks have run out unless you trade the queen or drop it. Okay, but white decided to just kind of defend in this fashion, and now he has to find a way for the queen to get back into play. And okay, now it's game over. Because if you go king e7, rook h7, and if you go king f6, rook h6, and rook h7. So we left off in this position. Tanav had that beautiful rook c6 that I found earlier, or bishop takes d5 and rook c6. He missed that, and now is playing this queen bishop endgame that should be equal, but he has to be careful. Oh no, why did he? That far away pawn is gonna be a problem, and the c pawn is easier to be lost by white than black's a pawn. Queens I don't think should be traded here. The problem is black is much faster to getting this pawn than white is to protecting it. And even if you did, there would be bishop e8, bishop f6. So that was this is a wrong decision, and it's possible that this game will not go well for Tanav, despite having played really, really good. I mean, you should be proud for the way this game was played. He outplayed you know, an opponent with 218 points higher. Opposite color bishop endgame, and I think the rest of the games are all finished here. We've seen all of the mates. So back to board one. It is. Let's see if my g4 is played. Come on. Come on, Sabina. Show. No! No, William, you did not go for my g4. He did go for the idea, though. Let's see. He did go for the idea, so okay. I will take that as a good thing. G4 is definitely the right way for white to approach this position. He wanted to prepare it a bit, I guess. Finally, it is important because yeah, look, G4 and F5. This is the idea. You don't want to get the pawn back. You want to make sure you're not gonna ever let black to blockade this F5 square now that you pushed, and you'll take, and then that will be weak or something like that. Okay. Threatening e6. Okay, now he's winning a piece. Okay. Very, very nice game played by William, and he's on his way to winning, if he didn't win maybe on time already. Nice game. Board 2 was a draw. Looks like Arsal was able to win that game. Wow. This is a lucky comeback by black, I would say. I was struggling for a lot. Wait, was this the game that he was struggling a lot? Yeah, this was the game with the, right? Yeah, with the weak king. Fighting till the end is very, very important. And okay, the two rooks are definitely more powerful than the knight. Okay, draw 4 versus 4. Iris finally got the chance to play b4, but is it going to be sufficient to try to outplay her opponent? That was probably not very wise. King f2 would have been, I think, a better... Wait, actually, is this really that? Oh, sorry, I'm just dropping. I'm just dropping a rook after this queen takes. I'm just dropping a rook. Apologies. So how is black planning to improve here? Something like this? But I think it's hard to imagine a progress for black. Oh. Are they gonna go for the draw? Why? Wait, what did I just see? I thought white should go for like just get the rook. If you take like this, you lose that. And after king takes, just rook g8, h6, h5, h4, sorry, and get the piece back. What am I missing? Did he miss bishop f4? Still bishop f4 probably. Well, takes doesn't work anymore. Yeah, but now black defended. He defended with plus. Wait, why not king? King here. You got this right, or what? c7. No. Maybe check first. I'm a bit confused. 1 second. So king g8. How's white winning now? Hi, smart guy. How are you doing? Maybe just no. What am I missing? I'm missing something obvious. Games are quite exciting today, like all days. This followed by c7, queen d8. So what about rook? Check. Or c7, sorry, c7 is even better. Takes. And sorry, you can't even take. Okay, that's because I didn't take a break. Okay, so queen e7 is the best move there. Queen h6. How about now king g8? Check king h8. I was just confused as to what exactly white's gonna do now. Nothing. Black decided to repeat because he has less time, so okay, he was fine with the draw. White says no draw. King g8 allows this rook to come in. But okay, we don't have the threat yet because of back rank, but we will have it eventually. Oh, and now white won because you're losing material. The queen, this is like such a cute, unexpected move because obviously rook d8 was played in the idea that you cannot take as a mate. So white does this in between checky. that covers the mate. So now when the king moves, we can take the queen and the mate is being covered by the queen, which is really nice. Okay, sorry. I mean, there's probably another maybe 10 to 20 more minutes of the game. I should take breaks probably after 45 minutes. That way it will be perfect. I will have like shorter. I will not get into the end of the game. What have we got here? This looks good for white. For black, sorry, for black. It's a cool US chess jacket. Thanks. Is the team jacket. The team every year the team gets jackets for World Youth Championships and stuff, and I was a coach and had a delegation this year for 2 events, so I got my jacket and I decided I should wear it still, even if it's at home. It's a US stream. They're always nice to represent. But there's merch always that you can purchase, by the way. If you're interested, I believe you should check out the store. And listen, you put you brought the ball to the net. Do you have an expression like that or something? So of course I had to follow that up. It's like you gotta ace that. That's what they do, right? In tennis, it's just the way it is. You gotta find the right transitions. I always try to make things run smoothly. If I keep telling you do this, or do this, then you'll be like, oh, okay, again. But when you're bringing it up to that moment, sure, why not? That's advertising. Learning more about it. I'm not very good at it. I could not be a salesperson. I don't think. I'm just puzzled here. Is this not almost trapping the queen? Yeah, queen f3, and now we're threatening this move. Steven! I'm sorry. What happened? Don't give up. You got 4 more games. I'm expecting 4 wins. You got this. Some interesting games have happened, I think. Positional games, attacking games, sacrifices, everything. This is headed for a win for black. And do we have any other? Oh, this game ended in a draw. Okay, so it ended in a draw. Board 16. What? VJ? No. What? No way. White won on time? They were just repeating the position and I thought it was gonna be a draw. Such a brilliant move, and what? Don't tell me he lost on time. This is sad. They do, Steven. They do cause unexpected things, including this game. Actually, I don't. What's Black's best move in this position? Does this move work? But I mean, you don't really have a way to progress. I don't want to lose this. I should be fine defending the H pawn from. I mean, even if I lose the bishop, I should be able to. I know 1 second is tough, yeah. But he found this cute move and just tough to lose on time. Actually, I like this move too. Just kind of bringing the king. He's tried very hard to win this game, but maybe forgot about the time, and that was a problem. Oh, this is a tough loss for Aditya, but he had a good position, but he weakened his position too much with that g-pawn push and made things difficult for himself, and it looks like Vihan was able to outplay him. Let me check how many games are remaining at this point. I think we only have a couple. Actually, 1 game remaining only. So let's go to that 1 game. Iris is still playing. So that's the last. That is the last game. So we had this endgame, rook endgame. What? Wait, doesn't this... This takes here. What about here directly? Ah, maybe we just take and here. And if you check, we should be able to go there. And what is Black's winning idea here after h5? Okay, this seems very natural. Rook a to d1. Could be rook a to c1 now, because then we just take. But you're losing even. I mean, maybe that wasn't the move. Maybe rook e1 wasn't the move. I really wanted this move to work, but it does not. What about this? Still not. You need to find the right moment to play d3. Okay, let's see how it was played and I'll look back. Okay, so rook g2. And now black is up a rook and Iris was able to win. But just a moment here after rook e4. We need to find a better place for the rook to be. Oh, actually, can we not go rook d3? We have to block that. If you take, we're good. So rook d3 was the drawing move here. Still trying to figure out the winning mechanism here for black, because obviously that pawn is about to be captured. And we don't have time for rook a4, also not for bringing the king, I think. Right, because then this is just marching. Rook e3 doesn't work, rook c1, rook d1. No, so it was here. There's some idea here for black. What about rook c1? Still takes, huh? And it's just probably a draw. Rook f1 wouldn't help much, would it? So if you go here, the idea is this, kind of a mate like this, kind of. So if you go here, check. Actually, no, the check is always a bad idea. It's tricky. It's like I know it's there. I know there's a mating pattern thingy, but I just can't find it. Of course, you can go back and then get back into the position, but I'm just trying to get the mating net going. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure how. So here, it shows equal because I repeated the position. Must be some way for black to take advantage of this. I know it's some study-like position with a potential mate. I'm just not sure exactly how to get it done. As rook g1 is not No, this is escape. This is also escape. This loses the pawn. Can we start with d3 then? No, because then the rook moves. I'm puzzled by this position, my friends. I know it's supposed to be winning somehow, but definitely not like that, because you saw white actually gave black gave a little bit of counterplay to white. So there's this idea with d3. We just need to figure out when and where. Maybe but is this, and now rook f1 or rook g1, similar, something with a mate. Maybe we have, no, we don't have time. Rook g1, still don't have time. d3 takes, rook h2, rook h1, no. Finally, I found the mating pattern. That took forever. Okay, so okay, you have to have time to figure this out. As you can see, I went back and forth quite a bit, but this is a nice endgame to analyze. That's definitely going into my saved rook endgame positions. Very nice way for Iris to outplay her opponent. She played it till the end. It seemed that it was going to end in a draw, but the fact that she got those two connected passed pawns certainly helped build up some pressure, and it worked out for her in the end. So nicely done. So I guess that concludes our round 3 commentary. What you can expect further for this tournament is, well, 2 more rounds for today. And just to kind of show you the schedule right now is 12:25 p.m. local time in Spokane. So they will have they will start round 2 for the friends and family tournament. Then 1:15 there will be a Bughouse closing ceremony kind of in exhibit A, and then rounds start at 1:30 p.m. local time, which means I'll be live around 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you here. If you cannot join that round, I will be back. Once that round is over, I will be back at 6 p.m. Pacific time or 9 p.m. Eastern time for round 5 to cover the games and excited moments from the tournament. Be sure to check out JJ's article. I had it pinned in the chat, so it will stay there until I go offline, to catch up with my favorite moments, and also, of course, pictures and recap of what has happened on Friday. And if you are on site, don't miss some of these meetings. 1:45 p.m. there's a scholastic meeting in room 401B, and if you feel into trying to challenge Grandmaster Michael Rode, please do so between 2:30 and 4:30 p.m. in exhibit hall C, which I believe is the Skittles room, and have some fun. Well, 3 rounds have passed already. After the next round, we're getting into a potentially more exciting part of the tournament. Some games brought in upsets today, so I cannot wait to see what round 4 brings. Stay close and see you